Hello YouTube, my name is rhianaB and welcome back to another episode of my Survivor review. Now, I will apologize, my throat's not feeling that well today, so hopefully it won't bother the way I talk. But if it does crack or if anything sounds weird in my voice, that's the reason why. Anyway, let's just get right to the episode. So obviously the aftermath of last tribal was that Ben is target enemy number 1. He pulled a very hard move to actually follow through and have it work, which is to be the only person to vote the person out. So obviously people see him as the number 1 threat. People are saying, like, no matter what, he's going home next. And I think the quote of the episode, plus I think it was also the title of the episode, was Survivor Devil, which was coined by Devin, which perfectly encapsulates Ben's gameplay as of right now. He's being very ruthless, and somehow these moves that are going against everyone else's plans seems to work. And then of course the next morning, Ben's out in the woods looking for an idol, and my first thought was, is there really going to be an idol at the final 6? Because usually you can only use hidden immunity idols until the final 5, or I guess it's changed over time, but mostly it's at the final 5. That's the last time you can use it. So I was thinking, are they actually going to put out another idol this close to the end of the game? So basically it was a couple of days of him just looking all over the island trying to find a clue. And even Mike at one point, either that first morning where he was looking or it was a little bit later, but Mike said that he himself looked around, he couldn't find it at all. So this also put a little bit of a, I guess, an arrogant confidence boost in Mike, because he would think that he would never find it because there wasn't one out there. But I'll get to that later in the episode. We get to the reward challenge, and Devin and Chrissy win the reward, and they have to decide who to take along with them, because they can take one other person to join them. And they talk about it, and they decide to pick Ryan, which completely shocks Ashley. Ashley had the look on her face of, oh my god, you know, what the hell? You know, she's like, why pick Ryan? You know, I feel like I don't quite understand how she would be so terribly shocked. I mean, obviously she'll be disappointed because of the fact that they've been in an alliance for a couple of weeks now. She has a close relationship with Devin. But the way that the game has gone, and that how the alliances have been forming and changing over and over again, I can't understand why she would be so terribly shocked, because, you know, alliances, at least in this season, have just been so all over the place, and why would you feel like feel like you would have so much trust in someone that you would rely on them to take you on a reward challenge? So that did kind of rub me the wrong way just a tiny little bit, but also this does lead to Ben getting a little bit more hope that he could infiltrate into this tight group of 5 and that he can save himself from being voted out at the next tribal. So Ashley, Mike, and Ben, they go back to camp, and Mike and Ashley are still very, very upset. Mike basically throws Ryan under the bus and say that he's not a good challenge competitor, which, to be completely fair, if it's anything super physical, the dude is super skinny. There was one challenge where you could see his heart beating over here, that you could see his heart beating out of his rib cage. He's that freaking skinny. So is he gonna be the most agile and the most strength-worthy person to be in a challenge? No, he's not. But the fact he kind of threw him under the bus was, I felt a little bit of a low blow. But granted, I say that, and this whole game's kind of been a low blow for a lot of people. And once Ben and Ashley are alone in camp, Ben starts to talk to Ashley, hoping that he can get into her mind and try to persuade her to work alongside him, but Ashley totally not buying it. Ashley knows, smartly, that Ben is kind of a sinking ship. Although he's making a lot of big moves, he doesn't have any allies, and she knows that he's the next person to go whenever the opportunity does come. So she's not going to fall for what he's trying to sell her. And then at the reward challenge with Chrissy, Devin, and Ryan, they actually agreed to a final 3, which part of me, I can definitely see that Ryan and Chrissy could be pretty good at tribal. I think personally that Ryan had played the better game because he was a lot more, I don't know, he was a lot more sly. He's very, very intelligent, and I feel like he made some pretty big moves earlier on. Chrissy was more of the right-hand man, She is on a winning streak with immunities right now because she has now won a lot of immunities this season. But other than that, I really don't know what else she could bring to the table. She could say that she played a strategic game, but I think it got overshadowed. So that is the part where I feel on Chrissy. But then there's Devin, who, first off, very, very likable. I like Devin, so if he were in Final 3, I would definitely root for Devin. He's likable, he has been a pretty good challenge competitor, and he's held some pretty good relationships with people on the jury. So I kind of can't help but think that that could give him more of an edge over Ryan and Chrissy if they end up being in the Final 3. But I don't know, things can change, and who knows, maybe this would be a good Final 3. Honestly, it looks pretty cool to me. I do like each of them individually, but I feel like Devin is a little bit higher up out of all three of them. And of course, while at the reward, they do discuss who their targets are, and obviously Ben is number 1 on the list, and then they bring up Mike, because Mike is a wild card, but Chrissy actually wants to get Ashley out, which I do understand her logic behind wanting to get Ashley out. Ashley has won a ton of immunity challenges this season, and she's also formed some pretty good bonds, and those are really big threats when you get to the finals. So I understand the logic. I guess it's just a sense of, after Ben, who would be the better choice between Mike and Ashley. And then we get to immunity, and Chrissy wins immunity yet again. And on the Tribal Council chopping block, of course, we have Ben and Ashley because of Chrissy's push to get Ashley out. So Ashley's plan is that she wants to do a split vote between Ben and Mike, which is smart because if Ben, who still at this point is still looking for a hidden immunity idol, if he has one, this way it won't be like a full swoop and that, you know, things can really change after that. But Chrissy is still pushing for an Ashley vote because she's still set on the fact that she is one of the bigger threats after Ben. Which, to me, if she still thinks that Ben is a huge threat, why not go ahead and get him out and then worry about Ashley later? But then I thought about it and I'm like, well, if Ashley wins immunity yet again, because she has won several so far, that could hinder her plan later. And also the fact that she still doesn't fully trust Ashley. So I understand her logic, but again, timing is the big issue. I would first want to get rid of Ben and then worry about Ashley. But I'll get to again, we'll cover that at the ending here. So Ben, by some miracle, by some survivor god miracle, he finds a clue to the idol, but then we're left with the cliffhanger, did he actually find it? Because before Tribal, they never showed him actually finding the idol, because it was actually hidden at camp. I think it was either in or underneath the bed that's back at their camp, which, I didn't know if he was going to find it because it's very hard to sneak that in, especially because I think most of the time before Tribal, they were all around camp, or there was at least someone to watch him. So they left the cliffhanger of did he find it or not. But we go to Tribal Council, and at that point, Ben's like, you know, I'm a sitting duck, I'm on my own, and when Jeff asked the question, who is your final 3, he's like, I'll just take anyone. Which, honestly, that is a good thing to say because that is an open invitation for someone out of the 5 to go along with Ben. But I think everyone is smart enough to realize that Ben is a huge threat and that he's played a lot of big moves, and that would definitely put him in favor of the jury. So I think they're smart enough to know not to do that. And out of freaking nowhere, as if you guys can assume where I'm going with this, Ben found the damn immunity idol. Holy crap, I swear to God, he's like got the magic touch with hidden immunity idols. He finds it. I don't know how, because they never showed it. I wish I could see the footage of how he actually got it, but he finds it, and of course this sets everything in motion. Devin tries to kind of undermine the move and say that, oh, he may not play it, but then he does a thing which I never knew you could do in Survivor, but you can play your hidden immunity idol early. So because he basically just, you know, before they even get to the vote, he stands up and hands Jeff the idol, and I never knew you could do that in Survivor. I don't think I've ever seen that be done before. So that established the fact that Ben holds the power right now. It's basically his vote. But then again, there's also the issue that they may also have other plans, and that's basically what ends up happening. And out of the 4 people who could be up for elimination, Ashley ends up going home, making her the latest person to be voted out of Survivor, heroes versus healers versus hustlers, and she's now the 6th member of the jury. So guys, if you guys watch the preview for next episode, the finale is next week. I'm so excited for the finale. That means there's only one more review left of my Survivor review series. So it's gonna be a little bittersweet next week, me talking about the episode. We're definitely gonna have to go through a lot, but I'm looking forward to it. As far as what they actually showed, apparently Chrissy has found some sort of idol of some sort, or some sort of a thing that's part of the game, because it looked like a little golden figurine around her neck. What that is, we do not know, except the fact that Jeff does say that there is a clue to, or some sort of secret advantage. I shouldn't say clue, but there is a secret advantage. So it makes me think, did Chrissy find the advantage, or did someone else do it and then give it to her as a part of a strategical move? That is all up in the air right now, but that's, as far as I'm aware of, that is all they have shown for the finale. So we're gonna have to wait till next week to figure out who's gonna win and who's gonna be the sole survivor. So unlike my other videos, I'm actually gonna do a prediction of who I think will win the game. Out of the people who are left, I believe that if Ben does not pull a crazy move like he's been doing the past few weeks, I definitely think that he is the next person to go. I think they'd be entirely stupid to allow him to get to the end, because he is such a strong player. So I think Ben will be going home before Final 3. Other than that, I actually do think that I'm kind of teeter-tottering on if it may be Mike who would go home next, or maybe it would be Devin. I have a strong feeling that the supposed Final 3 could break up. But at the same time, I feel like the only person who would be a complete GOAT, quote unquote, to get to the end would be Chrissy, because everyone else around her has made semi-bigger moves. So that's the only thing that I could think of as she will be in the Final 3. I do think Chrissy will be in the Final 3. As far as everyone else, Ryan, I think, does have a good shot of making it to the end, but honestly, I do find that it'll be a toss-up between Mike and Devin, because they each have pros and cons to take to the end with you. I think Mike has played a pretty strong game, but he's also been a flipper. He's a wild card, and depending on who's in the jury, they may take that as a good thing or a bad thing. And it's pretty similar to Devin. He's flip-flopped as well, but he's formed some pretty strong relationships, and he's a pretty likable guy. So again, it's just the issue of, what can you read from the jury about what they will find to be a good or a bad quality of your gameplay? So, we're gonna have to go through a lot next week, so it's gonna be bittersweet, but I'm excited to get to the finale and end our review series on a high note. Hopefully it'll be a good finale, so we're gonna have to wait till next week to see. Alright guys, that is all I have for you for this week's review of Survivor. If you guys like it, please give it a thumbs up, leave me comments down below, what did you think of tonight's episode, and if you want to see my future videos or videos I've already done, go ahead, hit subscribe and hit the little bell icon so you can be notified when my videos come out. That's all I have for you guys today, and until the next video, bye! Mwah.